dude,
Yeah.
I feel like you're someone who has a very nuanced, embodied awareness. You know, I mean, you're a Tai Chi teacher, you know, so obviously. But that story you shared with me about your experience of the stroke, moved me, and it speaks directly to what I was talking about in my previous vlog about the possibilities that are open to us when we cultivate that sort of awareness of our internal organs and systems. You know? So can you tell us
We all have that.
We all have that.
We all have that. Yeah. That's just cultivated. Yeah. So can you tell me what you want to know?
I'd like you to just tell me once more the story, you know.
Okay.
So, begin at the beginning, right? You were out of town for this Tai Chi conference.
So I was actually assisting my teacher at a 7-day training south of Austin, a place called Wimberley, Texas. And I had spent 3 days at that point doing Qigong and Tai Chi. On the way home, I stopped at an abandoned gas station that had this beautiful set of oak trees growing up out of the concrete. It was on a hill, beautiful windy day. I spent about 2.5 hours doing martial arts and Tai Chi. Got home, went to bed. Everything was fabulous. I woke up the next morning and couldn't get out of bed. I literally did this. You know how you just laying down trying to get up, and I'm like trying to get up and trying to get up.
Yeah.
So finally, when I did get up and realized that sitting on the edge of the bed, I had maybe 30% utilization of this left side of my body. It was very clear to me what was happening. It was October the 3rd, 2011, that I was having a stroke. And the natural inclination at a time like that is to be really panicked and frightened and go into, oh shit, I'm dying. And instead of doing that, I went straight to Qigong and Tai Chi and went into a meditation of sorts. And I remember clearly and very distinctly going through my body and identifying neurologically, consciously, with every part and piece that I could communicate with. And when I realized I had access to all of the pieces along the way, I recognized that whatever it was, I could improve whatever losses I might have experienced or realized.
In the moment.
In the moment. This is all happening in the moment.
All right.
And so in that moment of assessment, then I went into a very settled meditation. And mindfully and intentionally began slowing my heart rate, began lowering my blood pressure, began dilating my blood vessels so that my heart would pump less effortfully to push blood through constricted veins, capillaries, and arteries.
Okay, so I gotta stop you right there, please. Alright, so when you were doing these things, slowing your heart rate, were you focusing on, was that a visualization you had, or were you doing that by feel? So were you imagining and setting the intention perhaps to slow your heart rate, or were you feeling your heartbeat and willing it to slow? Like, what was going on there?
Yes.
There we go again. All right. Yes.
So all of that was taking place. I'm visualizing my heart, communicating with it. It's mine. It serves me. I serve it. We are collaborating partners. There is an inextricable link, and thus the purpose for Qigong and Tai Chi. Every single time you do it, you are better acquainted with yourself. You improve your relationship with yourself.
Yes.
On levels that are consistently with you throughout the entirety of your life. So I like to call them our forever friends, your body, your breath, and your mind. No matter where you are, they're there.
They're there. All right.
So there's no place or any person that I've ever heard of coming home from the hospital with a birth certificate, social security number, and a handbook or a manual on how to use their breath, their body, their mind, or their emotions. Now, those are the things that we're going to experience all of life. There's never any training about how to utilize them. Well, historically in a culture that was conditioned to harmony and balance with nature, with self and all things, that culture over long periods of time cultivated, refined, and perfected a way of communicating with those aspects of self, such that we literally use three treasures, body, breath, mind, in this combination, so to speak, to access the healer within us. Every one of us, human beings, walking the planet.
Body, breath, and mind.
We all share those three commonalities. So there are commonalities, there are three treasures correlating to the earth body, physical body, the atmosphere or iosphere between earth and the heavens or space, our ethereal or heart mind correlating there. In the Chinese tradition, there's no distinction between heart, between emotion and thinking, because your thoughts produce emotions, and obviously your emotions produce thoughts. And then the third treasure is our spirit, that of us that is unseen, untouchable. You can't weigh it, you can't measure it, but you can most certainly feel it and connect mentally, consciously with it. So I could guide that unseen essence to my belly with an expanded breath, or to a enhance the power of a movement, or to connect with your unseen energy and ease the stagnation, or move the tension, and guide it to a place where it relieves itself or releases itself from its pent-up space or its constricted.
All right. So this is the general philosophy and experience you've been cultivated in Tai Chi, and now we're bringing this moment where you feel, wow, I'm having a stroke right now, and you're dialing in with this. It's almost like you already have the connection and the relationship going on with your body. So you're more checked in with your experience in general, and so you're checking in like, okay, heart rate, blood pressure.
Slow down. Blood pressure, release, veins, arteries, capillaries, relax, as opposed to tensing up and constricted remote. Oh shit, dying. That creates greater tension. So it's already constricted, and the heart's working hard to pump blood through an already constricted vein, artery, or capillary energy. Instead, release the constriction, relax the tension. Intentionally. And you have that power. You have that power. You are
so that's why, that's why I took the training.
3 days cultivating.
I have the power now.
Capacity to access your unique configurations. Right?
Yes, I did.
So your forever friends are now
right here.
much more part of your conscious awareness. Yeah. So what was it like for you?
Oh man, it was spectacular. It was developing a more nuanced understanding of not just the things that I'm made up of in terms of like the tissues but just the process. I'm becoming aware of the dynamic process that's happening. But I'm going to jump back. Yes.
There's the teacher in you coming out to me. Now I sit and listen to you tell me how you experience that.
Yeah.
And we all experience it uniquely as unique expressions of that divine being that we manifest into human form. And
very cool.
So whoever sees it, if they benefit from it, then all of it. Now the one thing I would not suggest is that I sat there, I did the meditation, I did the self-assessment, then I went and took a shower and called the paramedics. Now,
Took a shower first. And then called the paramedics.
That was like mom in my head saying,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't. I would not suggest. Yeah. Have clean draws.
I have to, because you're going out in public.
Yeah. And it was going to be public, obviously. Yeah.
So what happened when you got to the hospital?
Well, they did the assessment, they did the x-rays, and did the CAT scans, and the doctor came into the room. I remember I then checked in, and he's looking at the scan, and he sees the spot that is a reflection of a stroke, and Then he asked me to do a series of movements and tests, and he was like, well, it's clear to me that you had a stroke, but what I don't see is the physical effect. And so he asked me, what are you doing? You know, what do you do? And I told him. He said, well, then you probably have to continue.
You should keep doing that, I think, yes.
Because otherwise you have some rehabilitation to do.
Yes.
You're overcoming something.
Yes.
And at this juncture, you know, there's no loss of faculty in any way, shape, or form that at least I can notice. I might not be as sharp as I'd love to be, but I wasn't as quick as sharp as I'd love to be in the front before. Yeah. But even that is evolving, because at 57, I function probably a lot better than I did at 47.
I mean, you function a lot better at 57 than I'm functioning at 28.
I don't know about that. You're looking pretty good.
Thank you. I do a little Tai Chi.
Yeah, you do a little Tai Chi. See, there you go.
I sometimes teach.
Tell me how that works for you. How that serves you.
It's a work in progress.
No, I got you. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I really appreciate you, and I really deep out respect for you cultivating and putting your time, energy, and effort into learning you to what I call conscious self-governance.
Yes.
And if we can inspire the rest of the people in the population to engage consciously in managing themselves, then we have far less outsiders having to manage us.
Yes. Yeah, this is something I'm very passionate about. And I think the Institute in general, we're passionate about care of the whole person and also the empowerment of the individual, you know. And that's why we love having you there.